And finally, today we start a new segment where we will bring recognition to the staff members who were nominated for Teacher of the Year and Educational Specialist of the Year. We start with the Teacher of the Year, Mr. Miniter. Mr. Miniter has been teaching at Knowles for 22 years, first as an English teacher and more recently as a special education teacher. His calm, approachable demeanor makes him the perfect mentor for new teachers, and he is the voice of reason in his department. He spends a lot of extra time working for his department, including summers. He is a class act and a role model for all. Congratulations to our Teacher of the Year, Mr. Miniter.
Today's nominee is Mr. Collinsworth. C-Dub, as he is affectionately known by his students, has a diverse range of ability, as he teaches sophomore English, SAT prep classes, and the Shakespeare Workshop course. He is the one who brings Shakespeare to MK, including this year's Romeo and Juliet production this spring. He is passionate and enthusiastic, which contributes to his fun and interactive classrooms, as well as the Spectrum Club that he advises. Congratulations to Mr. Collinsworth on his nomination for Teacher of the Year.
Today's nominee is Special Education Teacher Ms. DeFreitas, a talented, diligent, and above all, a patient educator who faces many daily challenges with grace and smile. Ms. DeFreitas often teaches many different classes in one year, which is quite a challenge, and she is a great mentor in the special ed department. She is earnest, dedicated, and most of all, kind. Congratulations to Ms. DeFreitas on her nomination for Teacher of the Year.
Today's nominee is Ms. Fisher, a bright, conscientious, reliable, and hardworking social studies teacher. Ms. Fisher, an alum of Morris Knowles, is an expert in differentiation and kinesthetic learning and serves as a presenter in the district's staff development program. She coaches both field hockey and lacrosse and serves as an outstanding role model for female athletes. Congratulations to Ms. Fisher on her nomination for Teacher of the Year.
Today's nominee is Mrs. Foley, who happens to be another alum of Morris Knowles. Ms. Foley is an energetic and positive force in our school, wrote the curriculum to bring AP Economics to our school, and she presents at staff development workshops to help teachers develop successful teaching strategies and use new technologies. And of course, she works tirelessly as an advisor for the SGA. Congratulations to Ms. Foley on her nomination for Teacher of the Year.
Today's nominee is Mr. Higgins, who is not your traditional stand and deliver teacher. Mr. Higgins' unique teaching styles provide opportunities for students to actively participate in history and social science. Please stop by his classroom and you might see students using a modified hand to open a jar of candy, an effort to simulate a gibbon's hand, or perhaps some students spearing for apples to learn about hunter and gathering societies. In any case, he is known for extending learning beyond the curriculum and encouraging the application of knowledge. You will also see him on the slopes at the Ski and Snowboard Club, as well as after school with the Multicultural Club, as he is co-advisor of both. Congratulations, Mr. Higgins, on his nominee for Teacher of the Year.
Today's nominee is Mr. Casper, our resident AV expert at MK. Mr. Casper has drawn on his background and expertise in broadcasting to improve the TV production program, updating MKTV's equipment and improving the quality of productions. He is very active behind the scenes, and his fingerprints are on a lot of what you see from MKTV. You will also see Mr. Casper filming school events, leading student production crews at these events, or working as a technician for a presentation. His passion for film is evident in his Art of Film class. I don't think anyone was more excited for the Star Wars than Mr. Casper and his Art of Film students. He is a talented and driven professional who has definitely impacted the culture of the school in his short tenure at MK. Congratulations to Mr. Casper on his nomination for Teacher of the Year.
Today's nominee is Mr. Luttenberg. Mr. Lett bleeds green and gold. He has, for the past several years, dedicated a good portion of his time to developing our TV production program into what it is today. He spends an extraordinary amount of time editing and producing for News from the Nest. Mr. Lett was the motivation behind the MK Lip Dub, and he has filmed and edited countless videos, from news show intros to highlight reels to public service announcements and special segments that highlight our school's accomplishments. With Mr. Casper's help, he has developed the MKTV program into one of the best in the area. His passion and creativity spill over to his students as he helps them develop their confidence and tap into their own creative genius. Congratulations to Mr. Luttenberg on his nomination for Teacher of the Year.
Today's nominee is Mr. Myers. It would be easy to point to Mr. Myers as a model staff member here, as he maintains a consistent presence in just about every facet of MK life. He's been on plenty of committees, is an incredible girls soccer coach, and also scores basketball games when he's not hosting Faculty Night Live or emceeing a student event. Mr. Myers is a great actor and comic, as you'll observe in any number of his News from the Nest cameos, and he is a faculty advisor of the SGA. Let's face it, he's everywhere, and that's because he never says no to anyone. Let's wish congratulations to the man who draws a perfect circle, Mr. Myers, on his nomination for Teacher of the Year.
Today's nominee is Mrs. Seaman. Mrs. Seaman spearheaded a new course called Education 101. She saw how many of her students in the Experiencing Childhood class wanted to pursue teaching. So she did what she always does, made it happen. She contracted an agreement with Rider University, where our students earn 3 college credits for completing her Education 101 class. She does so much more with her classes that there are too many accomplishments to list. So we will just say that she continually goes above and beyond for her students. Let's congratulate Mrs. Seaman on her nomination for Teacher of the Year.
Today's nominee is Mrs. Taddeo. Mrs. Taddeo is tireless in her desire to share her knowledge of mathematics. She is an effective communicator who knows when to push and when to ease up. She knows how to modify instruction based on agility, mood, health status, energy level, and learning needs. She is also incredibly compassionate. She continuously goes beyond her job description to address the needs of the students, both inside and outside of the classroom. Let's congratulate Mrs. Taddeo on her nomination for Teacher of the Year.
Today's nominee is Mr. Zablocki. Mr. Zablocki challenges, inspires, and connects with his students. He constantly brings an infectious energy to the class that can bring a smile to the most hard-to-reach student. Most importantly, he lets every student know that he truly cares about them. He frequently meets with his students on his own time, and they often just drop in during lunch or after school. If you spend 5 minutes in his classroom, it is easy to see how much he cares about his students and creates an environment that is comforting. He also tests their abilities and dares to get them to strive for more. Let's congratulate Mr. Zablocki on his nomination for Teacher of the Year. It's time for our segment where we bring recognition to the staff members who were nominated for Teacher of the Year and Educational Specialist of the Year. Today's staff member is the winner of the Educational Specialist of the Year, Mr. Schaefer. Mr. Schaefer is one of the most effective, professional, and sincere educators at Morris Knowles. He is keenly able to assist students of all abilities and needs. He is warm and treats every student with respect, and he is a skilled listener and excellent communicator. His gentle nature combined with his sincere desire to uphold academic expectations make him every student's best advocate. Let's congratulate Mr. Schaefer on his award as Educational Specialist of the Year. Today's Educational Specialist Year nominee, Mrs. Callanan, inspires students and staff members alike by not settling for mediocrity. She encourages students to continue to grow academically so that they will be successful outside of the school arena. She makes decisions based on what's best for the kids, not what's easy. Mrs. Callanan makes sacrifices sitting in her seat as school counselor. No matter the time of day or the task at hand, she never turns a staff member or student away because she didn't have time. Let's congratulate Mrs. Callanan on her nomination for Educational Specialist of the Year.
Today's Educational Specialist of the Year nominee is Mrs. Colvin, our Student Assistance Counselor. She consistently strives to improve the lives of students and increase the awareness of drug abuse. Mrs. Colvin goes above and beyond. She also finds time to contribute to the greater good of the school's climate by bringing in guest speakers like Chris Herron and Daryl Strawberry. She promotes substance abuse awareness campaigns like Project Purple, coordinates the Color Run, and advises the Teen Leadership Council. For the past few years, she has organized and hosted a healthy relationship seminar for students across Morris County. Let's congratulate Mrs. Colvin on her nomination for Educational Specialist of the Year.
Today's Educational Specialist of the Year nominee is Mrs. Russo. Mrs. Russo's door is always open. She views teachers as colleagues and accordingly collaborates with them to ensure what is best for the students she counsels. She's a woman of high character, and thanks to her, our students have an opportunity to grow and develop empathy and compassion. She meets her students with understanding and inspires them to be the best they can be. She is committed to identifying her students' strengths and working with them to develop those strengths. Let's congratulate Mrs. Russo on her nomination for Educational Specialist of the Year.